Imagine this situation. Food needs to stay fresh and a small character becomes trapped in a very cold place. The object lesson focuses on the safe, normal use of the refrigerator, opening the door, organizing food, closing the seal, and understanding the difference between refrigeration and freezing. Today we are going to examine a refrigerator closely and learn how to describe it in clear, natural American English. The goal is not only to name the object. The goal is to explain what it looks like, what it feels like, how the important parts work, how the hands interact with it, and how to describe the complete action safely from beginning to end. A refrigerator is used for keeping food and drinks cold so they stay fresh longer. It is tall and rectangular with one or more doors and a flat base. It is made from a large insulated appliance with metal, plastic, glass, rubber seals, shelves, drawers, and electrical components. Its visible appearance usually includes an outer cabinet, door handle, rubber gasket, shelves, drawers, freezer compartment, light, and temperature controls. In the hand or during use, it may feel cool and smooth on the inside. The shelves feel firm while the rubber seal feels flexible. Notice the difference between describing a fact and describing a sensation. You can say it is made of a particular material. That identifies what the object is. You can say it feels smooth, firm, cool, or slightly rough. That explains the physical experience of touching or handling it. You can also compare expectation and reality. It feels lighter than it looks, or it feels sturdier than I expected. A basic description names the object. A clearer description adds its purpose. A detailed description adds shape, material, texture, and one visible feature. For example, a basic sentence is, "This is a refrigerator." A better sentence is, "This is a refrigerator used for keeping food and drinks cold so they stay fresh longer." A more detailed version is, "This refrigerator is tall and rectangular with one or more doors and a flat base. It has an outer cabinet, door handle, rubber gasket, shelves, drawers, freezer compartment, light, and temperature controls." The detailed version gives the listener a picture without using unnecessarily difficult language. Now let us name the important parts naturally. The main parts include door handle, rubber gasket or seal, shelves, drawers, freezer compartment, interior light, and temperature control. Do not simply memorize the labels. Connect each part to its position and function. Ask yourself, where is it? What does it look like? What does it do? Which part does the hand touch? This turns passive vocabulary into usable speaking language. Precise verbs make the explanation much clearer. Refrigerate means keep something cold in a refrigerator. Freeze means make something become solid because of very low temperature. Keep fresh means preserve food in good condition longer. Go bad means become unsafe or unpleasant to eat. Slide out means move smoothly outward. Seal means close tightly so air cannot move freely through the opening. Cool down means become colder. Similar verbs are not always interchangeable. A general verb may communicate the idea, but the precise verb shows the direction, force, and purpose of the movement. Instead of saying, "I do something to it," describe the actual action and the result. Here is the physical sequence. First, grip the handle. Next, pull the door open. Then keep it open only as long as necessary. After that, place food on the correct shelf. At this point, slide a drawer out and push it back in. While doing this, check that containers are covered. Once that is complete, swing the door closed. Finally, make sure the rubber seal has connected all the way around. This sequence uses cause and effect naturally. You hold one part steady because that prevents slipping. You line parts up so they move correctly. You use gentle pressure first. Otherwise, you may damage the object or lose control. Once the action is complete, you check that the object is secure and return it to a safe position. Hand position language is especially useful. You can say, place your thumb on the surface. Wrap your fingers around the safe part. Support the base. Keep it upright. Hold it steady with one hand while the other hand moves the smaller part. Move it toward you, push it away from you. Apply a little pressure. Line it up before you continue. These chunks sound natural because they explain both position and movement. Safety is part of a complete description. A refrigerator is not a place to play or hide. Do not climb inside, touch damaged electrical parts, or leave the door open. Store raw and cooked food safely and ask an adult to handle cleaning or repairs. A strong English explanation does not only tell someone what to do, it also explains why. Use phrases such as, "This prevents damage." That way it will not slip. Keep your fingers away from the unsafe part. Do not force it if it feels stuck. Make sure it is secure before you continue. Let us upgrade the language step by step. A simple version is, "I use it." A clearer version is, "I hold it and move the correct part." A stronger version is, "I hold the main body steady with one hand and use the other hand to control the moving part." A detailed version adds direction and result. "I line it up carefully, apply gentle pressure, and continue until it moves into the correct position." This is the kind of development that helps with PET and FCE speaking, because it combines accuracy, sequence, and detail. Natural spoken English also uses short cause-and-effect chunks. I keep it steady because I do not want it to slip. I move slowly so I can stay in control. I check the position before I continue. Once it is secure, I finish the action. While I am using it, I watch the moving parts. After I finish, I put it back in place. These connectors make the description sound organized rather than like a disconnected list. Common mistakes usually come from choosing a verb that is too general, using too much force in the description, or skipping the final safety step. Avoid saying only "I open it," "I do it," or "I put it there" when a more precise action is available. Also avoid adding details that you cannot actually observe. When the design may vary, say, depending on the version, or describe only the parts you can see. Here is one complete real-life model. I stand in front of a tall refrigerator and grip the handle. I pull the door open and feel cool air move outward. Inside there are shelves, drawers, a light, and a colder freezer compartment. I place covered food on a shelf, slide the vegetable drawer out, put fresh produce inside, and push the drawer back into place. I do not leave the door open while I decide what I want. I swing it closed and check that the rubber gasket has sealed around the entire edge. The refrigerator keeps food cold, while the freezer can make water turn into ice. Now listen to a short action sequence. I pull open a large insulated door, place food on a shelf, move a drawer smoothly outward and inward, close the door, and check that the flexible edge forms a tight connection. The actions are open, store, slide out, push in, close, and seal. The value of this challenge is that the verbs create a mental picture. When you hear the direction, the hand position, and the result, you can identify the object and the action even before the object is named. The next time you describe this object, begin with its purpose, move to shape and material, name the main parts, explain the action in sequence, and finish with one safety point. Use precise verbs, natural chunks, and clear cause and effect. That approach will make your English more accurate, more visual, and much easier for another person to follow.